Hi you guys, welcome to the Rubber Room. It is me, Carissa Colley. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Rochester Hills, Michigan. And today is Wednesday, and right now it is 12 o'clock. That means it's time for my lunchtime, or my live at lunchtime. I come here every Wednesday at noon to kind of give you a little bit of creative inspiration during your lunch hour. I try to keep it to a half an hour so you can still go and enjoy lunch. And today I'm going to share some pastels with you. I'm trying to make sure I'm on my right page here. Let's see. Bear with me just for a minute. I always have a lot of things going on and I'm never sure really where I am or how I'm looking. So let me just bring this over a tad bit so I can be a little more in the middle for you guys. I'm striving to stay right here in the middle so you can see everything, but I want to get all my little tools where I can reach them. So today we're going to use the pastels. If you've never used them, they're like very soft chalks. I did a coloring class this past weekend, and we did do some cards with these. They're just gorgeous. You have 2, 4, 6, you have 8 different colors, and they're just so beautiful and very, very soft too. So we're going to, I'm going to share 2 different ways to use them with you today. And there's lots of different ways you can use them, but I'm just going to share 2 quick ones because I want to get you through here so you can enjoy the rest of your lunch hour after being inspired. We're going to use the Two-Tone Flora stamp set, which is a 2-step stamp, meaning you have a darker image and then you stamp over it with a lighter image to give you kind of a pop. This particular stamp set has 15 stamps in it, and it also comes with some dies that coordinate with it, and you can purchase those separately. This is one huge die that's a background die, and it is gorgeous. So you can purchase just the dies, you can purchase just the stamp set, but if you want them both, like I did, I had to have both of them, you can bundle them and save 10% on your purchase. Okay, so we're going to dive in here. I have a piece of extra thick Whisper White cardstock, and it is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored on the 8.5 inch side at 4 1/4. Just going to fold it on that score line and burnish it with my bone folder. Okay. And then I have a piece of basic black cardstock that is, I think it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, so it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And I am going to take some of my adhesive strips. I'm going to add that onto my extra thick basic white card base using some of these adhesive foam sheets. And these are just skinny strips of our Stampin' Dimensionals, basically. And we have 3 different products that you can purchase that are do lift like the Stampin' Dimensionals. Well, I guess really we have quite a few because we have the Stampin' Dimensionals in black, we have regular Stampin' Dimensionals, and we have the mini Stampin' Dimensionals, and we have foam adhesive sheets, and then we also have these foam adhesive, or these adhesive strips. So lots of different ways to add a little bit of lift and texture to your projects. And I like to peel my whole strip right off. And like with all of our other dimensionals, you still have these edges too, which you can use. So I'm just gonna put this all the way around my card. and add it then to the middle of it, because I don't want the middle of the card to come crashing down either. So I'm actually going to cut this piece into 2 pieces. And I'm going to add those on there. Okay. And just like our dimensionals, they are sticky on one side, and then the other side has a little backing to it. And so we're just going to take that backing off and put it right on the front of our card. Get my little trash can in here, so let's get it over here so I don't get all messy. I am on a mission since the new year started to keep myself a little less trashy. When I'm doing my lives, I make such a mess. I lose so many things, and I really am trying to concentrate on keeping it a little bit cleaner, which means I have to be a little more aggressive about putting my things away when I'm done with them. Okay, so I think that is centered and straight. I can see it's not. Let me see if I can really quickly pop it back up. Sometimes I can and sometimes not so much, but let me see. Oh, that sounds like you're like nails on a chalkboard kind of thing, doesn't it? Okay, I cannot, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I will take my heat gun when we're done and just heat the back of it, which will kind of melt that sticky strip, and I'll be able to pop it right off. So I'm going to set that aside for right now, and I'm going to bring in this piece of Whisper White cardstock, and it is a 5 by 3 3/4. Okay. So now I'm going to bring in this little vine, and it's just kind of a little vine. And I'm going to stamp it in some Versamark. Okay, and Versamark is just like a clear pigment ink. And mine has been very well loved. It takes a long time to dry, so it's a good kind of ink to use when you are using some chalks or pastels with it. Okay, I'm just gonna stamp this a couple times on here, and it's okay if it overlaps. You are not going to be able to see it because it is clear. Okay, and then I'm just going to set that over there. And I like to store my Versamark upside down because then the ink will stay towards the top of my ink pad. Now I'm just going to take my piece of chalk and I'm just going to kind of scribble it on my scrap paper here. And then I have a little sponge dauber, and I'm just going to use my sponge dauber to pick up some of that chalk. Oh, try not to throw it around like that. And then I am just going to kind of tap, tap, tap. Just going to use that quick tapping motion to take the ink that was on my dauber and get it onto that sticky. And I am going to just kind of flick off the extra. But you can see it's just going to kind of hang on to where that ink, that clear ink is, that kind of sticky ink. And I'm just going to keep going back and grabbing more of the chalk. And you can make this as light or as dark as you want it to be. Okay? So super easy and fun. And this technique is called Poppin Pastels. And then I'm just going to lightly brush off that kind of excess there. I kind of like that little smudgy look with the color all around it. So I'm just going to kind of blend it in using my finger. While I have this here, I'm going to stamp my sentiment on it. This is going to be a really quick and easy card. I'm just going to stamp I love you right there on it, and I used some soft succulent ink for that. Okay, let's put that over there so don't set anything in it. And then I have this square here, and I am going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring it in my flower image, and I'm going to stamp my flower on this little square. And again, I'm using my Versamark. Get it all juicy. Okay. And then put that away and my flower away. And I'm going to come in with kind of this really bright, kind of poppy looking color almost. It's kind of a cross between an orange and a red. And I'm going to do the same thing, just scribbled it. And I'm going to pick up some of my chalk there and then just pounce it onto my image. And you don't want to drag it, because if you drag it, you're going to lose all of the lines in your flower, and you don't want to do that. So you're going to drag it to pick up your chalk and then pounce it to put your chalk where you want it. And because